is a Tuesday, True Crime Tuesday, right here on what we call Darkness Radio, although it's not Darkness Radio. I'm confusing you, I know. It's the surgery, I tell you. Welcome in. I'm Tim Dennis. Right over across from me is Beer City Bruiser. We're bringing him in early. See, I'm stumbling already. Because we're doing a combined episode. We're doing a ripped from the headlines. We're also doing a little dumb crime, stupid criminals. We'll do some ripped from the headlines first. How you doing, Bruiser?
I'm doing okay. You're looking fantastic.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that, even though they attacked my groin with a vengeance over the weekend.
Isn't that weird how they go through there to get to your heart?
Yeah, I mean, well, most women do. It's a little joke. We're going to talk today about some stories that have been in the headlines and some stories that necessarily haven't been in the headlines that have been overlooked as far as true crime goes. We're going to give some attention to some stories that have been lost in the shuffle, so to speak. So we're going to do that today as well.
They've been overshadowed, if you will.
Yeah, because there's been some big stories in the headlines that we'll just kind of glance over, if you will, because there's some stories in the undergrowth that are quite interesting as well that I think people should know about. Although some of these big stories, Bruiser, are stories that we got to talk about, man.
Yeah, it's a crazy. At least some of the news stories that I've been seeing, it's like, which one is Tim going to pull? Which one's Tim going to pull? So,
well, I'll tell you. Let's talk about this one right away, because this one. And by the way, if you hear a little mystical something in the background, and you're like, guys, oh my God, what was that in the background? It sounded eerie and whistly in the background. Bruiser just has the window open. Those are crickets.
Yeah, it's 70 degrees here, and we have the windows open.
Yeah, so it's beautiful down there in North Kakalaki, and so he's taking advantage of it. So that's all it is. So you
want to know an interesting fact? Not to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
About the sound of crickets. So do you remember the movie Deep Blue Sea? The shark movie with LL Cool J.
Yes, yeah.
I was reading the other day because I look up movie stuff because I'm a nerd.
Sure.
Their set was infested by crickets. So after they got done filming, the cast had to come back in and do voiceover work.
Really?
All the lines, because they couldn't get rid of the sound of the crickets.
Really? Well, yeah, it's interesting, the difference between, like, say, sitting in a studio like you and I do and doing the show, and the difference between that and doing remote work with a microphone. It is an absolute nightmare to do remote work with a microphone. Here, it's controlled. So if you decide to open a window like you did now or did today, and just to get some ambiance or some air, and then all of a sudden you hear crickets, well, you can go slam the window shut and you don't have to listen to crickets anymore, right? But when you're on location and you're trying to get vocals, like for a movie, and to record the vocals of two actors, of course you've got cameras rolling, but then you're trying to record Dolby sound, okay? Yeah. And it picks up the littlest mouse fart. You've got two guys, and let's say it's a gun battle, right? I know I shouldn't be using this because of the Rust thing, but you've got two guys in a gun battle, and they're facing off against each other, and you've got that thing where they're whisper talking. Well, when you do that, you've got to turn up the volume on your microphone sets, and when you do that, you can hear over in the corner, or you can hear two guys talking on the other side of the set about banging his girlfriend the other night.
Yeah.
Or about how sick, he got so sick from drinking that, he ended up puking in a guy's hat. Or, you can pick up anything anywhere because these boom mics are so sensitive.
Right.
And it's the worst job ever. Because then you get a sound editor who gets these tracks back,
and he's got to try and fix them.
Yeah, then he's got to fix them.
Yeah, they said the first sound editor actually quit.
Oh yeah. I don't blame him. Yeah, because it was probably a nightmare. It was. He got these tracks back, and he probably went, well, what am I supposed to do with this shit? Go out and go recut, or actually go into a studio. Then what they do in an emergency, I actually got a couple of calls I've gotten calls from TV programs, from networks.
Okay.
Asking me what kind of microphones I keep in my studio, and can I replicate sound from outdoors? Well, I can if it's right outside my window.
Right.
I don't know if.
But if it's like you're looking for an elephant, you don't have an elephant.
Right. So they'll ask me, well, can you replicate crunching through the crunching through the North Woods of Maine in this particular setting with this type of grass and this type of leaves? Maybe. If you need a generic sound, I can do that. But if you want specific, a specific type of bluegrass in Kentucky, followed by a specific branch of a specific tree, no, I can't replicate that. But if you just need a generic crunching, I can get away with that. Yeah, I can do that. But you'd be surprised because different microphones create different ambiance. And it's easy to tell from one microphone to another what made what sound.
Yeah.
So I can't just show up with any old garden microphone and create vocals. The microphone I'm using right now sounds different than a Shure microphone. Like I'm using an EV320, and they may want a Shure MB187, and I don't have. I have one, I don't have the other.
Right.
So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting what they want. So yeah. So yeah, that's a bunch of geek talk about microphones to start out True Crime Tuesday.
Geek talk about movies and microphones, all because of my ambiance out of the window.
Yeah. So it's just interesting how it works to try and reproduce vocals and what you get in the background. So a lot of times when people say, I heard an EVP or I heard a ghost, no, I could tell you why you didn't. It's
and it starts with the microphone.
Yep. It starts with the microphone. It starts with artifacts. It ends with certain other things and why you did and didn't hear different things. So that's that, and that's it. Let's start out ripped from the headlines with a story, Bruiser, that absolutely set me back on my ear.
Okay.
I'm up late. I'm watching. It's interesting here in the Twin Cities market. There's NBC News Now. Okay. Late at night with Tom Yamas. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I find him particularly interesting to watch. I don't know what it is about him that's interesting to watch. No, it's not a man crush. But what it is that he's, some journalists have a bit of integrity to him. Some of them have kind of a keep it moving type of vibe. And others really get interested in intricate details of stories.
Right.
Tom got really interested in this story because of the irony of the setting of this story. Now, imagine, if you will, Bruiser, we had this Buffalo grocery store mass shooting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That was a while ago, wasn't it?
That was a while ago. Now, the shooter's got to come to trial. And in a trial like this, there are victim statements.
Right.
Okay. Now, a judge, and a good judge, has a firm hold over their courtroom and really keeps a proceeding moving. This judge, I don't think, knew what a dynamite keg they really had sitting in their courtroom.
Yeah.
This case was a powder keg. It really was a powder keg. Because the shooter in this case was a white supremacist.
Right.
Showed almost no remorse when he went into light up that grocery store.
Yeah. And even after, he showed no remorse.
Well, and here's the thing. He goes into court, and we'll get into the story. He goes into court and gives a half-hearted apology.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's what would probably set off the families more than anything.
oh, and it did. It did, my friend. It got to the point of almost violence.
Okay.
Which when Tom Yamas is reporting it, you can almost, I don't want to say there's a bit of a half smirk on his face, but almost like it was almost a, I wish you almost got what you had coming to you.
Yeah.
Type of deal.
Right.
I'll give credit to a lot of the families that came in there to give their statement on behalf of the victims. A lot of them had cool, calm, much calmer than I ever would have been. If you would have killed my loved one, I probably would have wanted to go after you too.
Yeah.
In that courtroom. I'm
surprised when you see serial killers or mass shooters like this guy was, and they do the victim, what is it? A victim impact statement, I believe is what it's called. Mm-hmm. And you see these families get up, and it's just like the bravery they have, that they're not, I mean, there's a few, like the Jeffrey Dahmer trial, the girl jumped over. There was a case I heard, it was the gymnast coach who was hurting the MSU girls, the gymnast girls in USA and all that.
Yep.
A father had gotten up and he says, Judge, for my statement, I'd just like to say I had like 5 minutes with that man in a room. Judge goes, I can't have that. He goes, well, what happens if I do this? And the judge is like, well, I'll have to put you in jail for this long. He's like, okay. And he went over and he punched the guy.
Yep. Yep. And we have a little bit of a similar situation. Now, things were working out just fine, and people were getting out their victim impact statements, and they were saying, I'm going to be a better person here. But I'll tell you, in my community, we don't go around doing what you did.
Right.
We're peaceful people. But by God, if I had my way, and then they'd say what they would do to them if they had their time with them, basically. Yeah. So the language is escalating from impact statement to impact statement. Okay.
Okay.
Here's the story. The 19-year-old white gunman who killed 10 black people at a Buffalo grocery store last year was sentenced Wednesday to life in prison without the possibility of parole at an emotional hearing that was briefly interrupted when a man charged toward him. This is the part we're getting to here, Bruiser. The dramatic moment came as the sister of victim Catherine Massey addressed the shooter, Peyton Gendron, ahead of his sentencing at the May 14th racist massacre at Tops Friendly Markets. This is the statement that was said directly to the killer. You don't know a damn thing about black people. We're human. We like our kids to go to good schools. We love our kids. We never go to no neighborhoods to take people out. That's what Barbara Massey told the gunman. As she continued to address the shooter, a man in a gray jogging suit ran towards Gendron, who was rushed out of the courtroom. Authorities surrounded the unidentified man, leading to a short break. Now, I believe he was related to the Masseys, if I remember right. Erie Court District Attorney John Flynn said the man would not be charged, and rightfully so, because, emotions are high.
Yes.
Telling reporters at a news conference on Wednesday afternoon that he understands emotions were high during the sentencing. Now, the gunman says he killed people because they were black. That was the only reason.
Yeah, he was no remorse. If you listen to the interview tapes, he's glad what he did. He said he'd do it again.
Yeah.
That's why I'm curious. You didn't see actual video footage of him, did you? Now, how was his response to the victim impact statement? I
have it right here in front of me. And in fact, I was going to play a little bit of it. As they're saying these things, he's just kind of dead in the face. I mean, he's... a lot of times he's looking down. He's not really even acknowledging the person who's talking to him. Sometimes he would kind of look over, but the face is kind of dead,
Right. He doesn't care.
Yeah. Let me play a little bit here for you. Here's the man lunging at the shooter during the sentencing. Let's see if we can get this here.
Think about black people. We're human. We kids to go to good schools. We love our kids. We never go in no neighborhoods and take people out.
And this is where the man starts to lunge toward him right here. And basically, they got him the hell out of there. The two cops grab him, Gendron, and basically take him around the corner and up towards... They're playing it again here.
Go in no neighborhoods and take people out.
Now, see, at the time that she says that, and he kind of runs up behind her as she's making her statement, he's sitting and looking at the desk. He's looking down at the desk. He's not even addressing her. He's not even looking at her.
So he's just there because he has to be there.
Yeah, he's just there because he has to be there. He doesn't, pardon my language, he doesn't give a shit about what she's saying whatsoever.
Right.
Okay? There's no care. There's no remorse. There's no... He could be sitting there doodling for all anybody cares. Yeah. Right? He's just there because he has to be there.
Yeah.
Okay. There's some other statements here from the victims that were there. Let me see if I can pull this up here as well. Here's some more of the statements.
You clearly did not value your own life, which allowed you to devalue the lives of others. Even with all of the heartache that you have caused, you still have failed to break our family spirit. You thought you broke us, but you awoke us. We all know the pure hatred and motivations behind your heinous crime, and we are here to tell you that you failed.
I watched you kill my mom. I watched you on the internet. I watched you shoot her once, reload, and shoot her again. To me, killing you is the easy way out. One day, I hope you find it in your heart to apologize to those 10 families who you've shattered their lives for some senseless, unnecessary business that you had going on with yourself.
At 19 years old, I had to bury my first son. But the pain I feel from you taking my aunt from our family will never even compare to burying my own child. So do I hate you? No. Do I want you to die? No. I want you to stay alive. I want you to think about this every day of your life. Every day of your life, think about my family and the other 9 families that you've destroyed forever.
Today, when I think of Robbie, I don't think of her like this. I'm gonna need this picture to remind me she was a beautiful girl. I think of her alone, laying on the pavement for hours. I've never been able to see her or touch her after that day.
You planned it. You put it on a video like it was a video game and watched it. I watched my sister-in-law get shot by you. I watched it. I went in the Tops a couple times, and every time I go in there, only thing plays out in my mind is where you walked, where you shot, what you did.
You know, and I give so much credit to the families that, and the members of the families that stood up there, looked at this animal and gave those emotions to him, and he sat there and either didn't even bother to look at them or didn't care.
Yeah.
He didn't even acknowledge half of them.
No. That's a sociopath for you. That's a psychopath.
Yeah.
Hopefully when he's in prison, something happens to change his view on life, and he does feel guilt for what he did.
Well, if you want to hear from the asshole himself, let's hear his words real quick. He said this as he was looking down on a table. He was kind of half bent over. Here's what he had to say and how he answered for himself.
I'm very sorry for all the pain I forced the victims and their families to suffer through. I'm very sorry for stealing the lives of your loved ones. I cannot express how much I regret all the decisions I made leading up to my actions on May 14th. I did a terrible thing that day. I shot and killed people because they were black. Looking back now, I can't believe I actually did it. I believed what I read online and acted out of hate. I know I can't take it back, but I wish I could. And I don't want anyone to be inspired by me and what I did.
I think the only thing he's sorry for is that he's going to jail and he knows he's going to get his ass beat every day of his life for the rest of his life.
Yeah, he's sorry he got caught.
Yeah.
And he wasn't raised up as a hero as he thought was going to happen.
Yeah. He better hope the Aryan Brotherhood protects his ass in the clink.
Yeah, and I bet you any money they don't, because it's a high profile case and they don't want high profile stuff around him.
Yeah. Because as it is now, he'll be lucky to live a year.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
In jail. I mean, he's
and he's young too. He's 19.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's fresh meat the minute he gets in.
It's a man's world when you're in maximum security prison. I mean, like I said, my father was a jail guard for years, and he did everything: maximum, minimum work release. And he said that you have to have thick skin to you just make it even a couple days in there. And this kid's in there for the rest of his life. Yeah. Appropriately, one woman yelled after he did that half-assed apology. One woman yelled, "You don't mean none of that shit." Exactly. Yep. He did it because his lawyer told him to do it. Yep. That's exactly right. The judge in the case had appropriate things to say. In handing down the sentence, Judge Egan spoke directly to Gendron. He said, "There's no place for you or your ignorant, hateful, and evil ideologies in a civilized society. There can be no mercy for you, no understanding, no second chances. The damage you have caused is too great, and the people you have hurt are too valuable to this community. You will never see the light of day as a free man ever again." And I'm sorry, that's a she, not a he. That's the judge. The DA Flynn said he believes justice was served on Wednesday. I would categorize what happened today as the end of the beginning, that while what happened today was a legal closure to the criminal proceeding, it certainly was not any closure on what we need to do as a society and as a community going forward, he said at the post-sentencing news conference. We can leave it at that, in that... certainly, this dingaling got what he deserves. But it's unfortunate that 10 lives came with it. Yeah. And it's unfortunate that mass shootings are a thing nowadays. Yeah. And nowhere is safe, it feels like. You can't go to the grocery store. You can't go to school. Can't go to your movie theater. And it's sad. People need to learn that if they're angry or confused, talk to somebody. Yeah. Mental health is not a shameful thing anymore like it used to be. True. Very true. If you notice your child is acting different, walk up and talk to them. If you yourself are finding yourself getting angry for the littlest things, go talk to somebody. Don't get a gun and shoot people. Yeah, although, guns are easy. It's easier to get a gun and go after somebody and kill them than it is to essentially, fight somebody with your fists or talk to somebody and have it out with somebody with words. It's easier to shoot them and be done with them than it is to... Nobody wants to have conversation or a fist fight anymore. Remember back in the day when you can go to a bar and if you have a disagreement with another person, you get into a little bit of a fight, the bartender breaks it up, bouncer, whatever, breaks it up. You buy each other a beer and that was the end of it. Yeah. Yeah, that used to be the way, but it's no longer that way, brother. It doesn't work that way now. I don't nope. I don't get it. I just don't. People need to start having conversations and we need to listen to each other. We have to, as a society, we have to start accepting that not everyone's going to agree with our opinion. Right. Everyone has their own opinion and they have a right to it. Yeah. And we need to listen to that. The skin is getting thinner on people. Right. And criticism is not a thing that can be dealt out anymore. It seems like, it seems like people can't
can't take criticism, and they can't sit down and have a conversation about themselves anymore. It just, people are set on being looked at how they believe they should be looked at. And if you say anything different, well, you're either offended to the point of violence or other actions.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear anything but favorable things about themselves. You know what? Not everything's favorable. Not everything's, sunlight and roses. It's just the way
and not everybody has the same views.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is,
That's true. That's very true. Some other stories that, I did want to talk Murdoch, but things are going at such a rapid pace with that. I think we're going to leave that for next week.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Next week, you will probably have a whole novel.
Yeah.
But next week.
That thing is going fast and furious, the Murdoch trial. The big thing right now, and we'll just encapsulate it for our audience at the time that we're recording this, is that the detectives, or one of the detectives in the case, is being kind of called out for quote unquote trickery when it comes to his questioning of Murdoch at the time of the interrogation, which that's not really news. I don't know why all of a sudden this is news that he was surprised that at one point he was the only suspect. Well, duh. He killed the housekeeper. So why wouldn't he be the only suspect when it came to, his wife and son? Right. That's not really news. They're kind of drudging some stuff up here to, I don't know, kind of extend things on this case and keep it in the news, so to speak, as they're formulating, more stuff to get to the end of the case. So I think next week there will be more to talk about. They're kind of digging at the bottom of the barrel right now.
I think next week is when the interrogation tapes were released, because they just released the body cam footage. So I think next week's when so then you can hear if that cop is using trickery. Yes,
they're all using trickery. Well, of course they use trickery. That's it's called part of the interrogation to get you to try and confess as to what you've been doing. I don't think that's unusual.
Where do people think good cop, bad cop came from?
That's right. It's been done for over 100, 200, 300 years. I don't think.
Exactly.
I don't think that's anything new. Let's go to Wisconsin, where a woman is accused of dismembering a man after sex attacks. Wait a minute. Let me see if I'm reading this right. A Wisconsin woman accused of dismembering a man after sex attacks attorney during... What? After sex attacks attorney during competency hearing. Does that make any sense to you?
That makes no... So she cut up a man during... Was she attacking him sexually?
After dismembering man after sex... Oh, a tax attorney during a competency hearing. There's a comma that needs to go there. There's no comma.
Gotcha. Okay,
yeah,
so she's crazy. She's just a crazy bitch.
Yeah, exactly. There's no good copywriters these days. That's for sure. We go to Green Bay, Wisconsin. I think we found a new member for the Packers defensive line. She's aggressive.
Hey, we already have one crazy diva in Green Bay. His name's Aaron Rodgers. Let's just leave it. We don't need another crazy diva.
Maybe she could join him in the Darkness Retreat. You never know. By the way, we'd like to be the sponsor of the Darkness Retreat if we could, Aaron. So let us know how we can do that for you.
Yeah.
It'd be us and Maglites. We both like to sponsor the Darkness Retreat. And I think also Microdose Gummies, I think would like to sponsor that as well. I'm sure.
Throw them all in there.
Yeah, I think I speak for Microdose Gummies. Well, let's go to Green Bay, Wisconsin. A 25-year-old woman who is facing murder charges after allegedly dismembering a man a year ago attacked her attorney in court during a competency hearing.
I don't think she's competent.
You judge if she scored points on this deal or not. WBay TV captured the moment on camera in the Brown County courtroom in which Taylor Shabusiness, in other words, it's none of Shabusiness, who was shackled and wearing an orange jumpsuit, began hitting her defense attorney. So she's multi-jointed.
She's in court hitting him, not in a little private meeting. She's in court hitting him.
That's right. She's crazy for all the public to see.
I don't think they had leg chains on her.
No leg shackles whatsoever. She began hitting her defense attorney, Quinn Jolly.
Wait, what? No, that's not his name.
That's the name of the attorney. A deputy immediately.
Wait. So it's, hey, let Jolly get you off?
Yes, yeah. Getting your jollies off, or Jolly getting you off, one or the other. Yeah. Deputy immediately pulled her off Jolly and wrestled her to the floor. Oh, this sounds kind of fun.
Hey, she dismembers people. Nope, not fun.
Shabidness fought back and kicked at the deputy, but he called for backup, and she eventually relented. I don't know. I mean, speaking for your day job, isn't this something you'd like to do as a part-time job at night?
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, again, my father being the former jail guard, he said that, I said, Dad, like, what's the dream here? He's like, to become a bailiff. I said, what do you mean? He says, a bailiff in a court. He goes, 1 out of 1,000 trials, you have somebody get out of hand. The rest of the time, you're just standing there. I was like, okay. But it's a hierarchy system. Uh-huh. You don't get hired as them. You have to earn your stripes through the whole prison system and jail system. Uh-huh. Then that's like your reward. That's why you see a lot of older bailiffs.
I see.
Yeah.
But then
because I have thought about it. I thought about following in my father's footsteps, and I just got distracted with professional wrestling. So
I'd rather be distracted by that than have to take a kick from Shabidness.
Someday I'll have to tell you the stories that he says, like coming home and people on PCP and lots of feces stories.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's a quick one. He said that a guy came in, he was drunk. They arrested him, and while they were filling the paperwork out, he pulled down his pants, jumped up on the desk, and took a shit on the paperwork. So they ended up putting him in a cell, and while he's in the cell, he took his wiener out and stuck it through the bars and was, hey, please.
Whoa.
So unofficially, off the record, what the guards did, because I asked my dad, I said, well, what do you do? What'd you do? He's like, well, here's what we wanted to do, wink, wink. Each guard lined up with their nightsticks and dragged them across the bars as they walked past.
I was going to say, that's what I thought they'd do. Yeah.
That's unofficially.
Play whack-a-mole. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah. Unofficially, that's what I do. Yeah.
It's unofficial. Yep.
Yeah. Shabiznes asked what happened, and a deputy told her, by the way, you went off on your attorney, Taylor. You went crazy on your attorney. WBA reports Jolly requested to be removed from the case after she attacked him. Jolly reportedly began the hearing by asking for more time from the court in order to have an expert testify on her competency. And the judge reportedly agreed to push the competency hearing to March 6th. According to WBAY, her murder trial was scheduled to begin March 6th. Shabidnes, I just like saying her last name like that, faces charges of first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and third-degree sexual assault for the February 2022 death of 25-year-old Shad Thyrion. She got a little freak in her. We'll put it that way.
Just a little freaky.
Here's what happened in this case. You ready for this, Bruiser? This is why I say she got a little freak in her. In the early morning hours of February 23rd, 2022, Green Bay police went to a residence on Stony Brook Lane after a woman reportedly found her son's head in a bucket.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's not where you... That's not supposed to be there.
No. We prefer it attached to his shoulders.
Yeah.
Police learned the victim was last seen alive with Shabiznes, and investigators searched her van for evidence. They reportedly found a crock pot with legs in it.
Oh, I remember this case.
Yes, as well as, if you're ready for this, kids, a male organ in a bucket at the Stony Brook Lane home. That's my dick in a bucket. That's my dick in a bucket, girl.
I remember covering this with one of our first Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of romantic.
Because we giggled with the dick in the bucket.
That's right. Shabusiness and Thyrion reportedly smoked meth together and had sex. It's the ultimate romantic getaway. Yeah.
Like, hey, baby, you wanna fly high? Take this meth.
That's right.
And then take me.
They call it the old smoke and poke. Yeah, in Green Bay, that's what it's known as. She allegedly began choking Thyrion with a chain during sex, and he died. According to court documents cited by WBay, Shabidness allegedly used a serrated knife to dismember the body. Oh,
that I don't remember. That would hurt, like a kitchen knife. Oh.
Yeah, especially serrated because it tears. It doesn't slice. Yeah, that's horrible. Horrible way to dismember. She reportedly told police her plan was for her to bring all the body parts with her, but she got lazy and only ended up putting the leg, foot in the van, and she forgot the head. Nothing worse than a lazy killer.
Yeah. She's just like, you know what? I'll do it next week. I'm good.
Yeah. Shabidness had a competency hearing in May. She probably should have had a thyroid test too if she was that lazy. And the court found her competent to proceed with the trial. Court records show she pleaded not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect on September 1st, which meant another evaluation needed to occur. So Shabidness evidently ain't that competent. She actually here, Bruiser. I got an action shot for you right there, buddy.
Whoa! Yeah,
look at that overhand right.
Yeah, she's got the full like punch into an elbow strike.
Yep. She's ready for that slap contest that airs after AEW Dynamite on Wednesday.
Jolly looks like Drew Carey.
He does.
The host of Price is Right? That's who it is. Yeah, Drew Carey, doesn't he?
Evidently, Cleveland's not the only thing that rocks. Evidently, Business's right hand does, too.
I can see why he's like, yep, I'm done.
Yep. You can have her. She's too crazy for me.
If you look in the picture, he has his guard up, and her elbow's coming through that guard. Like, she broke guard.
Oh, yeah. She totally got through it. Yeah. Interesting stuff. We'll move on here. A man hiding under a bed is arrested after a woman looking for her cat finds remains in a burnt shed.
Ooh.
I think he got rid of the kitty.
Yeah,
unfortunately. We go to Tulsa, Oklahoma. A woman looking for her cat unearthed a crime scene last week after she found human remains in a shed that had been burned down last year. According to the Tulsa Police Department, on February 9th, the woman went to her neighbor's house in search of a cat, or her cat rather, and the neighbor let her check the backyard. While looking, the woman reportedly discovered human remains in an area where a shed had burned down in September of last year. Tulsa police went to the residence near Charles Page Boulevard at approximately 6:30 p.m. and began investigating. Detectives identified Devin Shrivner, there you go, as the suspect, and on February 13th, located him hiding under a bed at a home in West Tulsa. According to the statement, Shrivner confessed to taking part in the homicide last fall, where the remains were found. Whoops, forgot all about that, didn't he? Yep.
Those body parts. My bad.
Oh, I forgot all about that. He also reportedly knew the shed had been burned down in order to cover up the crime. KTUL, or KTUL for Tulsa TV, see how clever they are over there, reports the victim was identified as 55-year-old Steve Wilkins. Police arrested him on suspicion, not Wilkins, he's dead, by the way. Police arrested him on suspicion of first-degree murder. Tulsa County jail records show he's being held without bond.
And this is another issue of a lazy killer.
Yes.
Because they could have gotten away with it if they went out back and picked up all the burnt remains of the shed, of the body. Because if I'm a neighbor and I see you carrying a bunch of burnt stuff out from your backyard, and I knew that you had a fire the last couple of days, I'm not going to question it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Lazy killers, I tell you. They all need thyroid tests. I think they're all just looking for a nap, I think, after
They
all
all
that
need to get off
activity.
social media and just start living life.
That's right. Boy. It doesn't pay to be formerly famous, evidently, because you develop some bad habits.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. A former MTV star is wanted for allegedly trying to meet an underage girl for sex in a sting operation.
Yeah, I've heard. This is one of the stories I was reading.
Is this one of the stories you were reading?
Yeah. I'm like, do we put this in dumb crimes or we put this in the rip from the headlines?
It's going and ripped from the headlines because even though it is quite stupid. Law enforcement officials are searching for a former star from the MTV reality show Are You the One? After he allegedly made plans to meet up with an underage girl for sex who was actually an undercover detective. You know, that trick never works. You're like, oh, she's underage, but I think I can get away with it. Nope.
You can't get away with it.
It's almost always Chris Hansen.
Yes, it is.
Why don't you come sit down? Have a seat. Let's talk.
Hansen.
Are you frisky with a former teenagefeline.com? Well, let's have a talk. What were you going to do with those Girl Scout cookies and condoms, huh? I don't know.
I love that. Oh, no, I'm just here because they were home alone.
Yeah.
What's in the bag? Oh, some vodka for me. Oh, that's it? Well, and some condoms. Oh, you need condoms. Oh, yeah, that's for later when I get home.
What are you doing with the Barbie dolls? Nothing. Nothing at all. On Monday, that's just creepy. On Monday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. Oh, that is just creepish.
That's the best time to catch predators.
It is. The Lake County Sheriff's Office announced there is a nationwide arrest warrant for 32-year-old Connor Smith on charges of traveling to meet a minor, grooming, and disseminating harmful material. According to the statement, Smith had been communicating with an undercover detective posing as a 15-year-old for the last several weeks. Smith allegedly sent who he thought was a 15-year-old sexually explicit images and videos of himself. He also reportedly arranged to meet with the teen for a sexual encounter. On February 9th, investigators from the Lake County Sheriff's Office Criminal Investigations Division and the Naval Criminal Investigative Service concluded their investigation and went to arrest Smith for indecent solicitation of a child. The same day, Smith reportedly drove to meet the girl, that's in parentheses, air quotes, and when he got to the location, detectives surrounded and tried to arrest him. Smith, however, escaped and fled the scene and was screaming the entire time. No.
It wasn't me.
I didn't do it. It wasn't me. The Lake County Sheriff's Office said Smith indicated he would surrender himself on the arrest warrant, but he hasn't done so as of yet. Bond on the warrant is set at how much, Bruiser?
Oh, this has got to be pretty big. $1,500.
Go a little higher.
Let's go with $7,500.
Give you one more chance. Go a little higher.
$12,500.
Oh, my friend. You tried to keep her in the ballpark and hit a single when really you should have swung for the fences. $1 million.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Evidently,
so I take it he didn't win the show.
No, and I think they were swinging for that TV money is what they were doing. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, well, he was on TV. He can afford this.
Right. Smith was arrested in December of 2021 for allegedly communicating with a 16-year-old on social media, meeting up with her in Indiana, forcing her to engage in sexual conduct, and raping her in a hotel room.
Oh, God, I didn't know this part.
Yeah, he's not a nice guy.
No.
Court records show he was charged with rape, criminal confinement, sexual battery, and confinement, but prosecutors dismissed the charges in September. According to Patch, which must be some periodical somewhere. Prosecutors reportedly said the victim stopped communicating with law enforcement, and they did not have enough evidence that would lead to a conviction. So there you go. He's on his way to jail again, folks. And you know what happens to chomos in the slammer?
They don't last very long.
That's right. By the way, if you feel like pissing in the wind or pissing against a building, don't do it in Florida.
No.
It might get you shot.
That wasn't what I was thinking. I was thinking an alligator would bite it off, but hey.
Well, there's that too. Yeah, you might take a chance with a stray gator, but there's a man who's angry. He's toting a pistol, and he might shoot your pecker off, if I could be so bold. If you choose to do it on his building. A Florida business owner, he's older as well, is accused of fatally shooting a man who urinated on his building. You can't make it up.
Him?
What's that?
He killed him?
He killed the guy who who piddled on his building.
That's a whole new meaning of get off my lawn.
Yeah, right? He should have diddled on his building for taking a bullet. I mean, you know, you got to do a little more than just piddle on a building to take a bullet. We go to Key West, Florida, where a 57-year-old business owner allegedly fatally shot a 21-year-old man who urinated on the side of his building.
Ugh.
It's not that serious, folks.
No.
I don't know if you know this or not, but urine doesn't stain anything.
No, and you know what? Why go to the gun? Just say, hey, what are you doing? The kid will freak out enough, he'll piss on himself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Instant justice.
Instant justice. According to a news release from the Key West Police Department, officers responded to a shooting in the Searstown parking lot on Monday, February 13th at around 12:28 a.m. They found the victim, Garrett Hughes, suffering from a gunshot wound. Police said life-saving measures were attempted, but the victim was ultimately transported to the Lower Keys Medical Center, where he succumbed to his injuries. At the scene, officers reportedly found a firearm believed to have been used in the shooting. The suspect, Lloyd Brewer, was still at the scene and immediately detained, according to police. Monroe County State Attorney Dennis Ward told WPLG-TV that Hughes, who was shirtless and unarmed, the name of our new album, Bruiser, Shirtless and Unarmed.
Yes, it is.
It's a great name. Was drunk when he urinated on Brewer's building, which contains a bar and other tenants. Still, okay, if you have a bar in your building, someone's going to piss against it.
Well, and I guarantee you, they're not just pissing on the outside of your building. Like, it's everywhere in your building.
That's right. Oh, God. Okay, so video surveillance reportedly showed that Brewer was confronting Hughes while also drunk. According to WPLG, Ward said Hughes is kind of stumbling around, and Brewer pulls up his shirt, pulls out a gun, and pumps a shot into his stomach.
Oh, jeez.
That's a painful way to die.
Yeah, it is.
Brewer then allegedly called 911, said he shot the victim in self-defense. Come on.
He pointed it at me.
Brewer was arrested, booked into the Monroe County Jail for murder, dangerous, depraved without premeditation, and first-degree felony with a weapon. So there you go.
Yeah, he's going to jail.
Unbelievable. A former Michigan State basketball star is pleading guilty to killing his family member. We go to Detroit, where a former college basketball star pleaded guilty to killing a family member the same day his murder trial was scheduled to begin in a Wayne County court.
Wait, huh?
Yeah.
He's already on trial?
He's already on trial, and he's still committing crimes.
Yeah.
Court records show Keith Appling entered the plea for second-degree murder and a weapons charge on Monday, February 13th, for the 2021 death of 66-year-old Clyde Edmonds. 2 other weapons charges were dismissed. The Detroit News reports that 31-year-old Appling faces 18 to 40 years in prison for the second-degree murder charge and 2 years for the firearm offense. According to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, on May 22nd of 2021, Detroit Police Department officers received a call about a shooting on Whitcomb Street and found Edmonds on the front lawn of the home suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Medics transported him to a nearby hospital where he was pronounced deceased. Edmonds' wife is reportedly Appling's mother's first cousin. Try to trace that one back for me real quick on Ancestry.com, if you will. The prosecutor's office said the two men got into an argument and Appling shot Edmonds. Appling's girlfriend was arrested at the time, too, because she reportedly drove him from the crime scene and failed to tell the truth to officers investigating the case.
Well, yeah, she got to defend him.
Yeah. The Detroit News reports that Appling served as captain of the Michigan State University basketball team. He had a brief stint in the NBA's G League and even played a few games for the Orlando Magic as well as overseas. He was an All-American high school player and scored 49 points in his high school's state championship game. I thought his name sounded familiar. Appling reportedly got in trouble with the law upon his return to Michigan and was sentenced to 18 months probation in 2020 for a drug charge. Appling will be sentenced March 3rd. Now, on top of that, we should talk a little bit about Michigan State University itself, that being a huge story in the news. Of course, 3 dead, 5 injured in that shooting at Michigan State University. That was a huge story over the past week.
Yeah, it was. It was everywhere.
It was everywhere. 43-year-old man believed to have opened fire on Michigan State University on Monday night, again, killing 3 people, injuring 5 before taking his own life. On February 13th, a little before 8:30 p.m., Michigan State University police announced via social media and emergency alerts that shots have been fired near Berkeley Hall on campus. The suspect believed to have fled on foot at that point, and students were ordered to shelter in place. Following that announcement, police said that there was a second reported shooting at IM East with multiple reported injuries. Michigan State University police described the suspect as a black male who was shorter in stature and wearing red shoes, a denim jacket, and a Navy baseball cap. Late Monday night, police confirmed 3 people were dead. 5 others were being treated at Sparrow Hospital in critical condition. According to a tweet, the suspect was located off campus and had died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. The shelter in place was then lifted following that announcement. Police confirmed Tuesday that all 8 victims were Michigan State University students, and the shooter, Anthony Dwayne McRae, was not affiliated with the university. In a press conference, Michigan State Police Deputy Chief Chris Rosman, a tip reportedly led police to McRae's location. Berkey Hall was where the first shooting occurred, and it's an academic building. Rosman said 2 of the deceased victims were found in Berkey Hall. The third was located at the MSU Union building. According to MLive.com, McRae was convicted in 2019 for possession of a loaded firearm and in 2006 for driving with a suspended license. As the shelter-in-place remained active, students told media outlets about their harrowing experiences. According to the Associated Press, one student described on Today how classmates were helping each other climb through a window after shots went off in Berkey Hall. She said, "There was a boy in my class, and he was waiting outside the window, and he was catching people and helping people down. As soon as I fell out of the window, I kind of hit the ground a little. I just grabbed my backpack and my phone, and I remember I just ran for my life." Another told the Associated Press about how he saw someone with a ton of blood on her. The student said her hands were completely covered in blood. It was on her pants and on her shoes. She said, "It's my friend's blood." Oh, my gosh.
Oh, it's sad.
Yeah. One student told the New York Times while the shelter in place remained active, "I covered the door with my roommate's bed and I turned off the lights. I'm keeping myself hidden in the closet." February 14th, 2023 is the 5th anniversary of the shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, that killed 17 people. McRae's motive remains unknown at this time. So that was a little background on that shooting that had happened.
And the sad thing is, we probably won't ever know why he did it.
No, No, especially having taken his own life.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like he left a manifesto or anything.
Nope, not at all. 5 are arrested, including a minor, after a home invasion investigation leads to the discovery of a buried body. We go to Gloucester County, Virginia. A home invasion investigation that led to the discovery of a dead body resulted in the arrest of 5 people, including a 17-year-old male. According to the news release of the Gloucester County Sheriff's Office, on the night of Saturday, February 11th and into the early hours of Sunday, February 12th, deputies learned of a home invasion on the 8600 block of Back Creek Road where armed suspects reportedly broke into the residence. That according to deputies. They responded, and while on the scene, a suspect vehicle returned to the home. The sheriff's office said deputies performed a traffic stop on the suspect's vehicle and arrested the 3 individuals inside, 35-year-old Catherine Wright, 19-year-old David Ford, and a 17-year-old male. Authorities reportedly recovered numerous firearms from the vehicle. Upon further investigation, the sheriff's office learned 36-year-old Kayron Tyrone Long was missing from the victim's home on Back Creek Road. Investigators also reportedly learned 2 victims of the home invasion, 33-year-old Edward Hodges and 24-year-old Winfrey Henry Jr. were involved in the disappearance of Kayron Tyrone Long. Investigators found a buried body in the 2900 block of Carmine's Island Road, and in an update posted by the sheriff's office, the office of the chief medical examiner positively identified Long as the victim. Hodges was reportedly charged with concealment of a dead body and accessory to a felony after the fact, while Henry was charged with second-degree murder, use of a firearm in the commission of a felony, and concealment of a dead body. According to the sheriff's office, the juvenile Ford and Wright each faced charges of breaking and entering with intent to commit assault while armed. Additionally, the juvenile was reportedly charged with the use of a firearm in the commission of a felony, possession of a firearm by a minor, and armed robbery. The sheriff's office said Ford was charged with armed robbery, use of a firearm in the commission of a felony, and larceny firearm. Lastly, Wright was reportedly charged with principal in the second degree to armed robbery. There you go. It's a lot of charges there.
Yeah, a lot of charges.
A lot of charges. I tell you what, that wraps up our Ripped from the Headline segment. What we'll do here is we'll switch gears, and it's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals.
It's Crayon News story time.
What happened with this dude, Christ Bearer? I heard he cut his penis off and then jumped off a balcony.
Suspect pulls gun from butt, shoots twice at Denver police.
What is your emergency?
I need help.
And what's the problem?
I'm too high.
You're too high?
Yeah.
It's that time once again, that time you all look forward to. We're going to lighten it up just a little bit. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals. And once again, we bring in the BCB, the big cuddly bear himself, Beer City Bruiser. Bruiser, I've got to ask you, what's your favorite part of Easter?
My favorite part of Easter, let's see, probably the Sunday ham.
Oh,
my mom makes an amazing Sunday ham.
Yeah. I got to tell you, mine's probably Cadbury eggs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Although we have a bit of a problem.
Why?
Well, you know, the price of real eggs has gone up.
Oh, it's gone up huge.
Yeah. It makes me worried that maybe the price of Cadbury eggs will do the same.
Well, yeah, they might. Yeah. Well, you know what? I had some Reese's eggs the other day.
Did they go up too?
No, they were the same price.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I have a story here in front of me that, thanks to our buddy Tom, who, by the way, if you have a story for Dumb Crimes, Stupid Criminals, or if you have a story for Supernatural News, you can send it along to tim@darknessradio.com. Our buddy Tom is good about getting us all kinds of fun stories.
He entertains us so much.
Oh, yes. Either for Dumb Crimes, Stupid Criminals, or for Supernatural News. This one's a little alarming. Bruiser. A $37,000 Cadbury egg heist.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Got to know why this egg was so expensive.
Well, I think these are multiple eggs. The thief is guilty of an organized criminal matter. I didn't think that Cadbury eggs were smuggable.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
I didn't think they had that much value.
Evidently they do. I think it's the egg thing. Oh gosh, this first line is terrible.
So wait a minute, the guy probably heard that eggs are going up in price. He's like, I know a shipment of Cadbury eggs. We can totally rob that place. We'll be rich.
Probably, yes. Yeah. He was like, if you think regular eggs are expensive, man, Cadbury eggs are off the chain. We're going to be rich, man. Just think about it. Those gooey centers. Which do you think is better, by the way, before we start the story? A regular Cadbury egg, a caramel Cadbury egg, or other?
The regular.
You think the regular are better?
Yeah, I love the original.
See, I'm a big caramel Cadbury egg guy.
I like the caramel, but yeah.
Yeah.
The regular's where I'm at.
Okay. Here we go.
Nostalgia, you know?
Yeah, nostalgia. Yeah, you can't beat nostalgia.
Yeah.
This first line, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Here we go. His excellent plan didn't hatch quite right.
That journalist, when he wrote that, was so excited. He's like, my editor is so going to give me an award for this.
I don't think this is my rim shot, but let's see. Yeah, it is. There it is. Yeah. UK man is facing 2 years in prison after pleading guilty Tuesday to stealing nearly 200,000 Cadbury cream eggs worth over $37,000.
I gotta hear how he did this. That's a lot of Cadbury eggs.
Guy's got an interesting name, too. 32-year-old Joby Poole.
Good old Joby Poole.
Sounds made up, doesn't it?
It does. He's totally making that up.
My name's Joby Poole. Was charged with criminal damage and 2 counts of theft after towing away the trailer full of chocolate on Saturday. West Mercia police dubbed the candy-coated caper an extravagant theft. Oh, God, that hurts. That just hurts.
Tim.
Yeah.
You gotta look at the author, because I'm pretty sure I figured out who the author is.
Who's that?
It's Egghead, the character that Vincent Price played on the Batman 1966 episodes.
Yeah.
Because everything was an egg pun.
Yeah.
He's the author.
Excellent.
It's extravagant.
Poole appeared Tuesday in Kidderminster Magistrates Court, where prosecutors argued his Easter Bunny in reverse behavior would have taken significant planning to pull off. According to The Guardian, Poole reportedly used a metal grinder to get through the gates of the unit housing that the chocolate-stuffed trailer and used a stolen truck with false plates to steal it. Okay?
I really want to know why.
Me too. Poole was later spotted by police, who claimed he walked toward them with his hands up. You got me,
That's
man.
Probably because whatever he smoked had just worn off.
That's right. They recovered the sweet spoils after easily cracking the case.
There it is again.
It's just getting disgusting. This is clearly an organized criminal matter. Prosecutor Owen Beale told the court, you don't just happen to learn about a trailer with that kind of value being available. Poole from West Yorkshire was previously convicted of theft, handling stolen goods, and driving while disqualified in 2019. That, according to The Guardian, he's expecting to be sentenced on March 14th. God.
Good old March 14th.
Yeah. Let's move on, shall we?
Excellent.
Yeah.
You're gonna that's gonna be forever be in your head now whenever you look at a Cadbury egg. You know that, right?
No.
You're gonna look at a Cadbury egg and just right away think of all the puns you, me, and that guy just came up with.
Like, which got killed first, the chicken or the egg? Or this Irishman. An Irishman killed by a chicken in a vicious barnyard attack. You want to hear about it?
Yes, I do, because I didn't know chickens could attack you. I mean, I know they can attack you, but I didn't know they can kill you.
Oh, they can. Yeah, give them enough time. You'll just get pecked away. I don't know what that means.
If it pecks me more than once, I'm punching or kicking it.
Well, yeah. Well,
especially if it pecks me in the pecker. I'll be like, listen here, chicken nugget.
They're descendants of dinosaurs, you know.
Well, yeah, no, I know all that.
Yeah,
but
they're dangerous birds. They're raptors. I don't know.
Someone's going to play Jurassic Park theme song every time I go to a farm now and see chickens.
I triple dog dare you. Just bring a little boombox with you with a cassette. Listen to me.
A cassette, yeah.
Like you can still find a cassette.
1980 to get a boombox to put my cassette of Jurassic. Well, it's got to be 90. What 92 is when the movie came out, so I got to time travel to 92.
Okay, I'm sorry. A CD of Jurassic Park. I've got one actually. There. I got one you can borrow.
Oh, okay.
It takes all D batteries. It's like the world's biggest dildo of a boombox you can use. And you can take it down, put a CD of the Jurassic Park theme, and you can follow it around and just watch the chickens fight. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got nothing. An Irishman was found dead lying in a pool of blood after he was mauled by a vicious chicken. By the way, Vicious Chicken is the greatest punk band name ever.
Yeah, I was going to say they come out with the rubber chicken heads in their heads.
Actually, throwing rubber chickens at people while you're playing, I think would be the greatest thing ever if your band name is Vicious Chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Jasper Krause of, what is the name of this town? California? That sounds like a Red Hot Chili Peppers album.
I was going to say, wasn't that a Chili Peppers song?
Dream of California. I think this is a fake story. Jasper Krause of California was killed by a brutal Brahma chicken, which was grown out of the rock's ass.
The chicken yelled, "If you smell."
What the hell's a Brahma chicken? On April 28th of 2022, according to a recent inquest in Balagadarian?
Baba Ganoush?
And Baba Ganoush? What? Balagadarian. Okay, the Irish Examiner reported. Krause's daughter, Virginia Guinan, said in a deposition that he was asleep when she dropped by that day, and she didn't want to wake him because he was in ill health and also upset that his dog had died. Alerted about the bloodbath later, Guinan rushed back to his home where she saw paramedics performing CPR on her dad as he lay in a pool of blood.
The Brahma chicken, if you look, it's just a regular chicken.
Well, but except for he does this thing. If you smell what the Brahma chicken's cooking. Well, but he looks quite proud.
He does. Yeah. He's very proud.
Yeah. A trail led to the chicken house where she saw one of the birds with blood on its claws and suspected it was the same one that had been sent to live on the farm after it had earlier attacked Krause's granddaughter.
Okay, wait.
It's a murderous chicken.
At that point, you just kill the chicken.
Yeah, you just have that sumbitch for dinner. Well, yeah. I mean, what's the problem?
Yeah, and no more vicious chicken.
Yeah. Corey O'Keefe, who's a tenant at the home, said he heard Krause screaming during the attack and saw blood. I don't mean to laugh. And saw blood spurting from the man's leg as well as a large wound on his calf. He called emergency services and was guided to perform CPR after Krause lost consciousness. Dr. Annette Jennings said at the inquest that when she arrived, paramedics had taken over CPR and were trying to resuscitate Krause, but he was pronounced dead. The coroner recorded the dead as one by misadventure. Though they
you never want to have a misadventure with a chicken.
No, you never do. Though they noted that he also appeared to have had a heart attack at the same time of the vicious chicken mauling. Oh, you know what? That was a Hardy Boys mystery. The Hardy Boys and the vicious chicken mauling.
And they had to figure out who killed the guy.
Yeah.
If it was really the chicken. It turns out, no, he's had a bad heart.
Yeah. You remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
I remember reading that one in grade school.
That's where Nancy comes in at the end, doesn't she?
Yeah. She comes in and she gets the boys brand new cocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
she chokes the one chicken and grabs 2 more cocks, huh?
Yep, grabs 2 more cocks for the boys, and then everything's all good at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. Check it out if you can. You can only get it in the back of the library, though, if you're looking for it.
After they choke the chicken, they make jerk chicken too, right?
Yeah, they make jerk chicken. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting little book, little novel.
It is.
Yeah. It's got flip pages towards the back where you can see pictures of Nancy and the boys.
Well, on the very last page, remember, that big cock pops up. So
yeah, it does. Yeah, it's kind of a surprise. Yeah. It just kind of boom, and there it is. Yeah.
It's like, oh, cock, right there.
Oh,
right
big,
in my face.
Big cock right in the face. Yeah. Kind of interesting.
Pecked me in the eye.
Yeah. Certainly did. Certainly did. When you're in jail, Bruiser, you supposedly can't watch a Super Bowl. Unless of course, your CO, is that who it is? I'm not experienced at the jail.
Correctional officer, CO, yes.
Yes, unless the CO lets you watch it. Right?
Yep, you have to have permission to watch the TV.
Yep.
And then everybody's got to agree on what to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, if they can't all agree, the CO chooses. And
yep.
My dad would trust me, we wouldn't put anything on they could watch.
Well, wouldn't it be something if just one guy wanted to watch like a home improvement show and everybody else wanted to watch the Super Bowl? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it'd be interesting. But as it turns out, Sam Bankman-Fried, the guy who is in big time trouble right now because of the crypto stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. He ended up using a VPN to watch the Super Bowl and was slapped with a new bail restriction as a result. See, sometimes there's certain things that are worth it to violate your parole, and other things not so important. Do you really think the Super Bowl was worth violating your parole?
It was a good game.
Was it that good, though?
Maybe he's a huge Chiefs fan or a huge Eagles fan.
But was it that good, though?
I can see him being an Eagles fan. People from Philadelphia would do that.
I guess. A federal judge slapped a new bail restriction on Sam Bankman-Fried Tuesday after finding out the disgraced FTX founder has been using a virtual private network or a VPN to watch football in recent weeks. Prosecutors filed a letter to the U.S. District Judge Louis A. Kaplan, alerting him that they discovered Bankman-Fried using a VPN to access the internet on January 29th and February 12th, raising concerns that his use of a private network prevents them from monitoring his behavior online. Addressing the issue in court on Tuesday, Bankman-Fried's defense team explained that their client had used the VPN to access his NFL Game Pass subscription to watch the AFC and NFC championship games as well as the Super Bowl. Kaplan was not happy to hear about Bankman-Fried using a private network and immediately banned him from doing so again, ruling that the defendant's use of a VPN presents many of the same risks associated with use of an encrypted messaging or call application, which he is already prohibited from using under his current bail arrangement. The judge has ordered Bankman-Fried back in court on Thursday for another hearing on the matter, denying the party's request for an extension of time to submit further proposed modifications to the defendant's bail conditions. Bankman-Fried is on house arrest at his parents' Palo Alto, California home. Must be rough on a $250 million bond.
Why didn't he just watch the game up in their living room?
That'd make too much sense.
Where they live sounds like a really large mansion, so there's got to be more than one TV in there.
Yeah, maybe they don't get good reception. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't pay for top of the line stuff.
No, they don't pay for cable or satellite. Yeah. So $250 million bond after pleading not guilty to several charges related to the collapse of his cryptocurrency exchange. Kaplan placed restrictions on Bankman-Fried's communications weeks ago, after prosecutors raised concern that the former crypto titan would use encrypted messages to reach out to his former employees at FTX and his hedge fund, Alameda Research, in an effort to tamper with witnesses while out on bail. So there you go. Let's see. How many more do we have here? We got a few more. Few more stories. Few more. Man caught in a stolen car while driving back to the crime scene. I mean, of course. Yeah.
He forgot his wallet.
Yeah, exactly. You never want to leave anything behind, especially, I don't know, valuable information.
Yeah.
We go to Clearfield, Pennsylvania, where officers were called to for a report of a stolen car, only to find the culprit as he was driving back to the scene of the crime. This, according to Clearfield Police. Officers said they were called to a home February 13th on the 700 block of Park Avenue in Clearfield, where a man later identified as the 30-year-old Jordan Graham of Woodland allegedly stole a woman's silver Chevy. According to the criminal complaint, it didn't take police long to come across the Chevy in the area of Ogden Avenue and Park Avenue. Graham was seen turning onto Park Avenue and heading back towards the home where the car was reportedly stolen.
Because he went, oh, shit, wrong car. I got the wrong one. Not again.
Police noted in the complaint that Graham was grinding gears, causing the car to stall out. Of course he was.
He stole a stick shift and can't drive stick shift.
That's exactly what it was. When he got out of the Chevy, officers said the woman was yelling that the car was hers. Graham claimed to police that he had just dropped off his daughter with her aunt, but he was on foot and doesn't remember what happened after that, the complaint shows. Officers reported that Graham failed multiple field sobriety tests. There's a shock that they tried to conduct after taking him to the Clearfield police station before allegedly admitted to smoking meth and weed the day before. So he's on a bender.
Yep.
It was also noted that officers found fresh damage to the Chevy's bumper, again, probably because he doesn't know how to drive stick.
Yeah.
Yep. Graham now faces charges of theft, receiving stolen property, DUI, and criminal mischief. He was placed in Clearfield County Prison. What was his bail set at, Bruiser?
$500,000.
Ooh, you're going high there, buddy.
Oh, he did return. All right, let's go down to $25,000.
Bingo.
Yes, I'm getting better at this game.
You're getting better at this game. You nailed it right on the head there, bud. Let's go on to the subject of catalytic converters. Of course, catalytic converters are very popular when you go to steal stuff off of a car. It's the first thing that most car thieves look for.
I hope this is a story I'm thinking of because, again, I came across and went, I really hope this is one Tim chooses.
It probably is. When you're in Las Vegas and you're looking to steal a catalytic converter, there's probably one car you want to keep your hands off of.
Yeah.
Because it's probably hard to find a catalytic converter on the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. I'm trying to think of where that would be. I don't know. Because it's kind of, you look at the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, and that's kind of an odd shape. And you would think of course, it's sitting in the back of the rear
bun.
Yeah, the rear bun. Right. But it can't be too obvious because you look at where the axle is.
Yeah.
It's not like, most catalytic converters kind of sit, in the rear. And I'm not going to tell you. You're going to go steal one, I'm sure. But
no, because I was told here in North Carolina that we should back into our driveway, and I said why? And they said because catalytic converters get stolen all the time. That's like the number one thing stolen in North Carolina.
Yeah.
So that's why. Yeah. I know where it is.
Yeah. Well, it ain't in the front, that's for sure.
No.
So the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile fell victim to catalytic converter theft during a Las Vegas stop. Evidently, they're not safe in Las Vegas either. Even one of the, why? Because you go sell off your catalytic converter you sold, and then you go right over to MedMen and get as much weed as you can. Or you go over and get your meth, one or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even one of the most notable vehicles in America was not immune to the uptick in catalytic converter thefts across the country last week. The iconic Oscar Mayer Wienermobile was hit by thieves at some point Thursday night while located in the parking lot of the Sonesta Suites on Paradise Road in Las Vegas.
They can't even give the driver a nice fancy hotel. Come on.
I think profits are down over at Oscar Mayer.
This person's driving this all over. Get them a decent room.
Can you hear the phone call now? It goes kind of like this. Oh, sir, I was wondering if I could get a room at the Luxor. Hold on. Let me check the books. Where'd you want to stay again? I was thinking about maybe the Luxor. How do you feel about the Sonesta Suites on Paradise Road? That's more our speed.
When you check in, you get a free hot dog.
They carry our products over there,
Yeah.
Not only that, but I hear there's a little trailer right next door where maybe you could get some companionship. Yeah. The burglary was discovered Friday morning. Then the crew couldn't get the Wiener on wheels to start ahead of a 10 a.m. appearance at Smith's on West Warm Springs Road. It's 27 feet long. How big is the catalytic converter on that sucker?
Well, it probably was a group of guys that took it.
The 27-foot long Meyermobile was ultimately towed to the Penske truck rental at West Hacienda Avenue and South Decatur Boulevard, where mechanics installed a temporary catalytic converter. Working on a tight schedule, the Wienermobile didn't have time to relish in the theft. Oh, God, not another one.
They found themselves in a pickle. They better catch up to what they got to do. That's all I got.
Guy took one look at the bottom of the vehicle, saw there was no catalytic converter there.
Yeah.
He mustered all over the street.
Well, you know what the mechanic said when he discovered there was no catalytic converter.
What's that?
Hot dog, you guys got no catalytic converter.
So mechanics quickly sealed up the area where the catalytic converter had been cut out. The crew made its first appearance of the weekend without missing a beat. Thank God. Or thank Oscar.
Good night's sleep.
What's that?
It's because they got a good night's sleep.
That's right. Las Vegas outlets reported that the Sonesta Suites corporate is looking into the theft. That, of course, is after they turn over the girls for the night.
Yeah.
The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department reportedly said early Friday it had not received a report of theft involving the Wienermobile. Taking a little off the Wienermobile. The Wiener mustered its way to two more stops this past weekend and is reportedly still in operation. The mechanic shop said it could take a couple months for a new catalytic converter to come in. Well, of course, it's got to be custom fit.
It's 27 feet long.
Jesus. Catalytic. I have another catalytic converter story here.
There's one that I heard too, which I'm hoping this is one that you... I didn't hear the Wienermobile one. I heard a different one. So
did you? It wasn't the Wienermobile?
No, I heard. Hopefully, this is the one that I heard. Otherwise, I'll tell you what I heard after.
Well, catalytic converter theft is not an easy job.
No, it's not.
It's not. There's dangers to this deal.
Yeah, it's not safe. So I think this is the article. Yeah.
It's not an easy life.
No.
Turns out, as we go to Palmdale, California, that a man attempting to steal a catalytic converter from a parked SUV in Southern California was run over and killed when the vehicle's sleeping driver awakened and started to drive away.
This is the exact story.
The death occurred on Tuesday evening in a retail parking lot in Palmdale, according to the LA County Sheriff's Department. Arriving deputies found a Ford Excursion partially backed out of a parking stall and a man lying on the ground in a smaller vehicle in the next parking stall. Yikes. The department said the Excursion driver was asleep when the small vehicle pulled up and one of the four people inside got out and began sawing the catalytic converter off the Ford. The victim woke up from the sound, turned the car on, put the vehicle in reverse, and felt a bump like she ran something over. Kind of sounded like this.
Oh!
She stopped immediately, leaving the suspect on the ground after running him over. Because why would you want to call 911?
Oh, you don't call now. At least you didn't put it in drive and go back into the stall to see what she hit.
Well, the driver did call 911.
Okay.
Yeah, she was nice enough to do that. The driver called 911 to get medical help for the suspect. She said, "Help, I just hit a catalytic converter thief."
How does she know that's what he was doing?
Well, he wasn't a Jiffy Lube employee.
Yeah, but how did she know he wasn't like walking out and just behind her car and she didn't look? Like, how did she know that's what he was doing?
Hey, lady, hold on. I'm going to plug a leak you have in your tire. The driver called 911 to get medical help for the suspect. The suspect was pronounced dead at the hospital. The other 3 people in the smaller vehicle were detained. No names were released. Palmdale is in the high desert, Antelope Valley, north of Los Angeles, also known as the most famous place to get run over if you're a catalytic converter thief. So there you go.
So who's got to pay for her catalytic converter to get repaired? Because he was sawing it, so he got a little bit of it.
The other 3 guys in the vehicle. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
We were talking Super Bowl earlier.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny. We had a little bit of an acting up of sorts with an Eagles fan.
Okay.
After the Eagles lost. I know, surprise, surprise, Eagles fans aren't the most well-behaved fans in the world.
Well, did you hear what the Philadelphia police did before the game started?
No, what was that?
They went to all the major light poles and
they greased them down.
Stoplight poles, and they greased them.
They do that with every big game.
Yeah.
They did that. They did that after the Eagles won the Super Bowl here in Minneapolis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they all throughout Philadelphia, they greased down the light poles and everything so people wouldn't climb up light poles and destroy light poles.
Gotta love Eagles fans.
I'm telling you, our buddy Blue Meanie, he's a huge Eagles fan, but I think he's the only civilized Eagles fan that I know.
Oh, he gets crazy.
Does he?
Yeah, from what I've heard, he likes to. He enjoys his games.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he's not,
Oh, I don't know. He's not the flip a car.
He's not taking a flaming shit on a cop car,
No, he's not.
Type of Eagles fan,
No, that he's not doing. But he's a diehard Eagles fan.
Right.
And Phillies.
This next story I have is an Eagles fan who's one of those taking a flaming shit on top of a cop car type Eagles fan. And
hey, our team won the Super Bowl. Let's destroy the city type thing.
Yeah. Although this guy is a special breed. This Eagles fan broke into a Florida firehouse and then threw a meat cleaver at firefighters. And then he found out the Eagles lost the game. It was just a normal Sunday night for him.
Yeah.
An angry Eagles fan got his wings clipped Sunday night after he allegedly broke into a Florida firehouse and ransacked the bunk rooms, stole a uniform hat, urinated on the carpet, and threw a meat cleaver at the firefighters who confronted him.
What are you guys doing here?
What are you doing at my Super Bowl party?
Eagles lost, man. That's to get out of my house.
25-year-old Edward D'Alessandro of Philadelphia barged into the Hutchinson Island Fire Station in Martin County, Florida at about 10 p.m. and stole the hat, $126 in cash and some knives, according to a Facebook post from the Martin County Sheriff's Office. Then he allegedly urinated on the floor near a closet. When firefighters found him, they got a nasty surprise in the form of a flying cleaver that not beaver cleaver, that the disgruntled fan allegedly hurled at them. Police said the firefighters were able to hold D'Alessandro, who in his mugshot wore an Eagles shirt and a black eye until authorities arrived. Evidently, he didn't realize that firefighters don't have to play fair.
Did you, you know why he threw the knife, right?
No, why is that?
Because the first person to walk in, someone yelled, "Chief!"
Oh, and then...
So he threw it. Chiefs.
Yeah, I got you there. D'Alessandro faces charges of armed burglary, aggravated assault on a firefighter, and theft. He was brought to the Martin County Jail where he was held on how much bond, Bruiser?
Oh, $10,000.
Oh, you were swinging so low. Keep going, bud.
$50,000.
One more try.
$500,000.
Now you're a little high there. $120,000.
Okay.
Yeah. He was a little out of bounds on this deal. The Eagle was officially grounded for the second time in one night, the sheriff's office social media post said. D'Alessandro's beloved team lost Super Bowl 57 that night to the Kansas City Chiefs by a score of 38-35. And let me show you a little picture of Mr. D'Alessandro. As you can tell, even though the Eagles swung and missed, the Fire Chiefs did not. Look at that shiner.
They messed him up.
Yeah, they did.
That's a beautiful one.
They wanted to remind him exactly where he was.
Yeah.
So he went away with a souvenir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
That's going to look better and better as the week goes on.
Yeah, it is. It's going to turn all kinds of fun colors. Two more stories here for Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals before we leave you today. This is the not safe for work version, the NSFW version. So turn your devices down, get the kids out of the room, make sure the boss isn't around. We're going to go in 5, 4, 3, 2. What the hell is the Maryland Senate voting on now, Bruiser?
I have no idea, but I can't wait to hear.
You know what? First, I think we'll update a story.
Okay.
That we'll have to do a little bit with. Oh, wait. You know what? Maybe I should talk about the Maryland law first. Then we'll talk about this woman in the Jeep.
Okay.
Okay. Let's talk about the Maryland Senate. Hokey smokes, Bullwinkle. Did you know, there's certain laws around the country that are just, you go, what the hell is that law even still doing on the books? Right?
Yep. Like I think in your neck of the woods, you can't leave an alligator tied to a fire hydrant.
What is an alligator doing in Minnesota?
Don't know. I want to say, I think that's the Minnesota one. On a road trip, we looked up stupid laws. And surprisingly, it's the Midwest that has the most stupidest laws in the world.
I believe it. I totally believe it. In Maryland, there's a law in the books that criminalizes oral sex between adults. So evidently...
That's illegal in Wisconsin also.
It is?
So is anal.
Wow. No fun in Wisconsin, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, unless you're caught in the act.
Well, you never know when the sheriff's going to walk in. I mean, just saying.
There's that straight-laced kid out there right now who's with this girl, and she's all, yeah, I can't wait to do this, and starts unbuttoning his pants, kissing his stomach, and he goes, whoa, hold on. Nope, sorry, ladies, this is against the law. We can't continue any further.
Well, just look at it this way. I mean, how many teenagers are out there parking,
Oh, yeah.
And it just so happens someone's getting a little knob slobbing or whatever. And all of a sudden, you hear the gun cocked and among other things. And you hear, put your hands up. And you might have a Barney Fife type guy out there arresting you, right?
Yeah.
With a shaky gun and get your mouth off of that. You're under arrest. I could fire this on you right now.
You think you can get arrested for it, huh? It's not a finable? You think it's an arrestable offense?
Let's find out in Maryland if it is or not.
Otherwise, it could be a fine. That could be a pickup line for a guy, too. You find out what the fine is, walk up to a lady and just slap the money on the table. I'll pay for your fine. Let's go.
Hey, baby, I'll pay your fine. Maryland Senate is delaying consideration of a bill decriminalizing oral sex between adults. In other words, they still want to keep it on the books. What?
It's a moneymaker for them, they think, Tim.
Let's not cast aspersion on any political party, but let's call it the way we see it. A Republican senator concerned about a bill's impact on minors delayed full Senate consideration on Wednesday of a proposal that would repeal the the criminalization of oral sex among consenting adults.
Why did he say he's worried about minors then? The impact it'll have on minors.
Because he's a busybody.
Like, there's a law for that, dude.
That's right. And that's the law we're talking about right now. The bill is called Criminal Law, Unnatural or Perverted Sexual Practice Repeal. It's also known as SB 054. It came to the Senate floor on Wednesday for second reading after the Judicial Proceedings Committee gave it a favorable report. Senator Justin Reedy, a Republican from Carroll and Frederick, asked for the bill to be delayed, called a special order, until Thursday. Reedy said he wants to ensure that the bill will not affect prosecution of sex crimes involving children. Now, why would that... What?
Yeah, it's two consenting adults. There's no children involved.
Yeah, there's no children involved in here. That's stretching...
It says on there, consenting adults.
Right, that's stretching it to an unreasonable means. Under current Maryland law, a person may not take the sexual organ of another or of an animal in the person's mouth, place the person's sexual organ in the mouth or of another of an animal, or commit another unnatural or perverted sexual practice with another or an animal.
What happened that they have to put an animal in there also? And is this law gonna keep the animal in there?
What?
Make it legal for both?
What drunken frat party happened at Rutgers that we don't know about? That's what I want to know. The offense is a misdemeanor, punishable by a fine up to $1,000, imprisonment not exceeding 10 years or both. So yeah, there's jail time here. So $1,000 or 10 years or both.
So okay. Here you go. You're the judge.
Mm-hmm.
Woman comes in and she's charged with performing oral on a man.
Okay.
Other cases, woman comes in and she's charged with committing oral sex to a cow or bull.
On the udder? A bull.
Yeah, the bull.
Okay.
You charge them the same? Sentence them the same?
No, I think the human probably gets $500 and maybe 2 years, and the bull you're getting the horns, if you know what I mean. You're getting 1,010 years. You're probably getting the book thrown at you. The statute is coming under fire because it prohibits adults from engaging in the private act of oral sex. Consensual oral sex between adults would no longer be a crime if the bill passes.
Okay.
As it should be. The current statute is extremely outdated, likely unconstitutional, and also criminalizes consensual oral sex, said bill sponsor Senator Clarence Lamb, Democrats Ann Arundel, and Howard at the Judicial Proceedings Committee hearing on February 1st. In 2020, the Maryland Senate voted unanimously to repeal the criminalization of sodomy. However, the crime of unnatural and perverted sexual practices was left on the books because it was assumed that the charge wasn't used against consenting adults, said Lamb at the hearing. Two recent incidents prompted Lamb to urge for the statute's repeal. The controversial 2021 Supreme Court decision in Dobbs versus Jackson overturned the abortion rights case Roe versus Wade and sparked nationwide protests from reproductive rights activists. Let's see here. It goes on for a bit. I'm going to try and see if I can wrap this up in a nice, cute little way here. There's no cute little way to wrap this story up.
No. In Maryland, they're old people.
So Lamb emphasizes that SB 054 would not decriminalize sexual offenses, such as bestiality and sex crimes involving children, which are established in separate statutes, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't. Despite this, Reedy and others want to make certain that that is the case, which makes sense. And it should, We get it. Yeah. We get it. The quote here from Reedy is, I just special ordered for a day just to check on the details of it and talk to a couple of law enforcement people just to be sure it's correct. Okay. The bill is expected to be heard again on Thursday when the Senate will decide whether it will advance. Advance on the bull or advance on... Because, dude, that's a crime. You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that. They're leaving that out. Remember, man?
That's right. That's right. Meanwhile, updating a story, I believe this woman is now up for charges, but the Smoking Gun was reporting on a customer that found a naked woman in a Jeep for sale. Probably looking for oral, is my guess. She was in Pensacola, Florida, though. Leave it to Florida. Florida's just Florida. Out there. Yeah. We'll conclude today's show with a story about a customer shopping for a used car discovered a naked woman pleasuring herself in the rear seat of a 2010 Jeep Wrangler parked outside.
Do you have to pay extra for that?
I don't think so. No, I think that's an amenity, I believe, is what they call it in the used car business.
Then if you buy that car, they're going to detail it before they give it to you, right?
I thought that was one of the details, was a naked woman in the back seat.
Okay.
Although they call it an extra wiper in the it's a swiper, no swiping in the back seat. Yeah. Although I'm going to show you a picture here, and you tell me if it's a benefit or if it is if it's a ding on the car.
Okay. I'll check the Carfax.
Yeah, this is one you may have to check the Carfax. When I finish reading the story here.
Yes.
Customer shopping for a used car discovered a naked woman pleasuring herself in the rear seat of a 2010 Jeep Wrangler parked outside a Florida auto dealership. This according to an arrest report. Police were called to Bob Tyler Toyota in Pensacola after a customer complained to a sales associate about a naked woman in the back seat of one of the vehicles on the sales lot. When a dealership manager opened the Jeep's door, he said he spotted 37-year-old Alexis King naked with her legs spread wide open. Well, that's convenient. Isn't that special?
Yeah.
Well, there she is, just open and wide and accepting the devil.
This is my question. This is air conditioning.
Well, these aren't leather seats, are they? A receptionist reported that the suspect was, and this is a quote, pulling at her vagina. Well, I don't know if pulling was quite the...
I'm not a woman, so I don't know.
I don't know either. A third employee who called 911 told police that a co-worker called him to the front lot to get a vehicle that a homeless woman was inside pleasuring herself. All right.
Wait, now, why do we think she's homeless?
Yeah,
this could just be her fetish.
That's right. It could be she has a Jeep fetish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just, she was in the mood, and there it is.
What was it? Was it R. Kelly who said, "You remind me of my Jeep, I want to ride it"? Remember that? It's like,
yeah.
You remind me of my Jeep, I want to ride it. I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, what song was that, though?
Ride It, I think.
No, it was... I'll figure it out. I'll sing into Shazam later. Well, after King exited the auto and walked away from the dealership, employees noticed damage to the car's interior. Was it water damage? Including a broken radio and a period stain on the back seat. Oh, kids.
How did she break the radio?
A manager estimated that King cost about $1,300 in damages to the Jeep, One witness told cops that the auto... Bruiser, hold me. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
That the auto smelled so horrible that it went straight to detailing. The Jeep is now unsellable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that Seinfeld episode. The smell is just there now. It lives there. It's there forever.
That reminds me that now they make that. You ever be listen to me. You ever be sitting there eating dinner, and that now they have that deodorant that put on your
Jules or Junes or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and you put it on your nether regions, and there's always that one woman who's way too happy talking about it on
and
TV.
She's like giving you like a time frame.
Yeah,
like how long it lasts.
Yeah. You just rub it on the coochie and it lasts for like 8 hours,
12. It's 12 hours.
Oh, it's 12 hours. That's what it is.
And she's athletic, she said.
Yeah, and I'm athletic. I'm running around. I don't even let it air out. I just, I seal it up in a plastic bag after I'm done putting this on. I mean, it's just, it's really bad.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, she's like, I let it seal up in a plastic bag and... I wear leather pants and it's just, she's talking about all this stuff she does in order to create extra moisture, and she puts a loaf of bread down there and all kinds of stuff in order to just make it.
Not a loaf of bread. She doesn't want a yeast infection.
Well, no, I mean, she's doing all kinds of stuff to try to make it smell, but she's like, nope, this deodorant fights it all. Yeah.
Go ahead. Pick up that monkey poop. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Pick it up. Throw it at me. Right there. Right in the cooch. Come on. You got it. Throw it.
Yeah. And she's talking about how great this deodorant is. I'm like, I'm eating dinner right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to yell at the TV. I am eating dinner.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that commercial, the pubic care commercial, all that. It's just, no.
Yeah.
Why now? Save that for late at night.
And then that always foam pad commercial is always
where
right
they
before
dump the
it.
stuff on it.
Yeah, well, the one where the foam pad is as big as a king salmon.
Oh yeah.
That always airs right before the deodorant commercial.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. They always do it to me before dinner, and during dinner. I don't know what it is. Anyways, after King exited the auto and walked away from the dealership, employees noticed damage to the car's interior. We said the broken radio, the stain. One witness told cops that the auto smelled so horrible that it went straight to detailing. King, pictured above, you won't see it because it's radio, but I'm about to show Bruiser, was charged with burglary, criminal mischief, indecent exposure, and providing police with a false name. She's being held in the Escambia County Jail. How much bond, Bruiser, for soiling a Jeep?
That's going to be $5,000.
A little higher.
$10,000.
A little lower.
$6,325.
You're so close. $7,000.
Oh.
That's right, for leaving your unwrapped fish in the Jeep Wrangler. According to the dealership website, the convertible Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Sport, which has logged nearly 84,000 miles, is available for $23,116 for having the fresh ocean smell in it.
And you get a lifetime supply of little pine tree air fresheners.
You get a fresh monthly shipment of Febreze with it as well every month. The listing makes no mention of any recent stains visited upon the car's gray cloth seats.
No, you gotta check the Carfax for that.
That's true. Jesus. H tap dancing Christ. Okay, here we go. This is Ms. King herself. Alexis King, who left you a present on the back seat.
Yeah, I can see why they thought she was homeless.
That's right. There you go.
She really likes her Jeeps.
You remind me of my Jeep. I want to ride it. That'll do it for today for Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals, for Ripped from the Headlines. Tomorrow on the show, we'll be doing a little supernatural news. Boy, have we got a show for you for tomorrow for supernatural news. We have we have some stories for you on that deal. Let's see. What can you look forward to for stories for tomorrow? A bus driver in Singapore believes he might have spotted a ghost passenger on the vehicle's security monitor. Elon Musk is admitting now that AI is one of the biggest risks to civilization.
Thank God.
In your face, AI. We'll talk about that on tomorrow's show. And what is Project Montauk, and why are aliens and time travel in the United States all involved in it? We'll talk about that as well on the show tomorrow. So that's coming up on Supernatural News tomorrow. Bruiser, what you got going on for this week?
Let's see. I'll be in Winston-Salem for AML Wrestling.
Really?
Yeah.
Who you fighting?
I love it. Billy Brash. It'll be my second match with him. Last time we had a real big barn burner. We beat the crap out of each other. So I'm hoping for that again.
Well, that sounds fun.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be stumbling along in the house, holding onto my heart, hoping it doesn't fall out of my chest. So that'll be my deal for the week. That's about it. That's what I got going on.
All right.
I wish I had the chipmunks around. I think this week would be a good week to sit around and feed the chipmunks and stare out aimlessly at nature. But yeah,
we have some down here. We're at 70 degrees.
I would fly down to you, but blood clots.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah,
you can't yet.
yeah, not yet. So, otherwise, I'd come down and watch you and Bill Brashke or whoever it is you're wrestling.
Billy Brash.
That's who it is. Yeah, you and Bill Brashke.
I am
going
using
at it.
that in the match. I am. Cutting a promo. That's what I call him. Bill Brashke, huh?
Bill Brashke. Yeah, it's all yours. You go ahead and use it, buddy. Then tomorrow, we'll see everybody tomorrow for Supernatural News. For Beer City Bruiser, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to True Crime Tuesday right here on Darkness Radio.